what are your thoughts on the ETH merge and what that means for Ergo? Why don't you start, Alex, and then I'll answer that.
All right. So, I think it will be a dramatic event, right? So, we already have some Ethereum POV proposal from Chandler Go. Who jumped on ETC also. First he actually threaded ETC with 51% attack, but a few weeks after started to be a proponent of ETC. Right, so this time, we can see another Ethereum classic, right? How Ethereum POV. Actually, I predicted that even many months ago, right? Because it's quite clear that miners will revolt somehow, some of them at least. Hard to say how stable will be that proof of stake protocol, right? Especially with maybe a significant part of tokens belong to miners, right? So they can actually dump it, or maybe not. Who knows? Considering many failures in the testnet, so it's hard to say how stable will be the network. And it's hard to say whether it will be matched on time. Maybe it will be postponed. And then, for Ergo, it's for our community, it's probably worthless, right, to do anything here based on how unclear the situation is. Anyway, we need to attract miners, right, and proof of work coins, lovers, and so on, right, to be on our side. Because for those Ethereum POV, even for ETC, the future is very unclear. So ETC had a few community splits actually, and very chaotic development, and significant supporters dropped off, and a few 51% attacks, right, successfully done, and so on. Probably Ethereum POV also will have some dramatic story. Let's see. It would be good to invite people to our community to avoid dramas, to feel safe.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best expectation. What's the expectation around the Ethereum merge is drama. Actually, it's an interesting thing. My concern with proof of work post merge has actually always been that the net capacity of GPUs that will suddenly need a place to go. Mining is somewhat like real estate, right? You create basically cash flow, that's your incentive, and you have a certain ROI. And so if you suddenly have an area where there's like a massive capacity on the market, it tends to basically drive down profitability. So one potential benefit that at least I've kind of been chewing on in my head is like, okay, if there is this new ETH POW fork, successful or not, it actually might be beneficial for proof of work because it helps offload some of that capacity short term, right? That way we don't have as much of like a flood that really just hits profitability everywhere. So I'm curious to see how that affects things. Now, in terms of like the long-term value versus proof of stake, and now we have 3 Ethereums. We're getting into like the what is this, Bitcoin Vitalik vision? I don't know. It's funny to watch, that just like the fracture, and then you get infighting between the difference who's like the purist, I guess. I don't know. Let's avoid that kind of drama in Ergo. I think that if like, what does that mean long term in terms of like lessons? Let's just try to avoid that type of drama in our community. And, as we develop and build, I think that profitability use case will come. And, I think we're in a nice position long term in terms of growth and use case. So let's just focus there and, sit back, have popcorn, enjoy the show in the space, because there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it's every week there's something, right?
Yeah, and this Ethereum space is very rich for dramas. So, and around that merge, so hot season is coming. So
hot season, telenovela season 2.
And let's see how it goes, and let's invite as much folks as possible to enjoy feeling safe here in the Ergo Harbor.